Hi, Jasmine. How are you? Alrighty, so let me go to the questions already. So, very, very grateful that you're doing this. My question is with reference to switching states. I had read in your post that you have theater background that helps you imagine better and live in the character. Could you elaborate that more or provide more tips for those who don't have a background in acting slash theater on how to switch states and be in character in the imagination? Okay, so the way I personally do it, and of course this is how I do it, so it might not be like as easy for everyone. But what I would do is I would create this character, and the way I do it is like I take a piece of paper, for example, and I write it down as if like I'm actually writing a character. So you can describe how you want to be in that reality, and you would just like you would describe yourself basically. How do you dress? What is your favorite food? How do you talk? What's your personality like absolutely everything, right? Almost as if you're creating yourself from scratch. And then as you do that, you can go like to more details, even like what's her favorite music, what's her daily routine like what does she do as soon as she wakes up in the morning, and so on and so forth. So you do all of that, and then, well, for me at least, after I do that, I'm able to like already start to kind of feel that I am that person. But if you cannot do that for some reason, then I would advise you to, you see those like things that you wrote, try to do them. So for example, if she dresses in a certain way, try to dress up in that way. If she has a certain routine, let's say she wakes up at 5 in the morning, takes a shower, then goes out for a run, do that. If she eats something, like try to start doing, like kind of reverse engineer it and start doing the things that you would be doing or that version of you would be doing. Another thing that kind of helps is if you can kind of relate that version of yourself to like some sort of role model or like an idol or something, and then you could like kind of watch them or like take inspiration from them, so that also helps. So yeah, I hope this answered it. Let me see. Have you had experience with having high resistance and limiting beliefs towards a specific desire? If so, what is your process of overcoming those limitations? Of course I did. Of course. When I was manifesting my specific person, especially like I was a beginner, I didn't know much. I just had this weird experience that I wasn't even sure if what it was. And here I was like trying to manifest this like at that time like the awesomest person ever. So yes, I did have lots of limitations, and what I did is actually divided in different like steps or different categories, let's say. So the first things that I started to do was work on my personal beliefs. So I sat there, like the general ones, right? So like I sat there and I started to think, um, what are the things that I am believing in, right? So what are my beliefs around love? What are my beliefs around myself? What are my beliefs around life? And I, oh my God, I had shitty beliefs, right? And so I started to rewrite those. Then the second thing that I did was try to find why did I have resistance towards that specific person, because then it came down to the point where like, okay, I believe love is easy, I believe I can have anybody except that person, right? So why was it everybody, not my SP, right? So again, I had to like kind of debunk it within myself. I had to lower him down from the pedestal, remind myself that we were together, because he was my ex, it's not like a crush or something. Remind myself how we were together, how at some points I wouldn't even like care so much, and these are the times when he was like the sweetest, the nicest. Not saying that you have to like not care about your people, but you know, like put yourself higher. And what else? And then yes, it also, what helps me a lot is that like I really have like unshakable faith in the law. So for me, like if something is going wrong, if my 3D is showing me something different, my first reaction is not to be like oh my God, why is this happening, I'm so unlucky, I hate this. No, my first response is like, what state have I been occupying? Oh, yeah, sure. Well, if you're in that state, of course it's not gonna happen, huh? This is like my inner thinking process. So I think that that helps as well. What else? Yeah, I think that's it. I hope it answers your question. Let me see. Thank you for your help on sent for all SP. Sure. Oh, there are people who raised their hands, right? I saw Fernando earlier and I saw Lee now. So, chat guys, just a second. Let me look at the people who raised their hands. But how do I find them? Can somebody raise their hands just for Lee? Can you raise your hand again? Thank you. There we go, because it said Q. Perfect. Okay, so Fernando was first. So can we have the question from Fernando?
Yo, hello, hello.
Hi.
Hey, so I want to find out how you found out first about the law, and how did you feel about that?
Okay. Well, how I first found out about the law was it's more like the law found me, to be honest. But I had the same story as most people. So I have like I had my person break up with me, or like I broke up with them and then I regretted it. So it was over a love situation. And I was looking into ways to like get somebody back, but I wasn't into the law or anything. I wasn't spiritual. I was never spiritual. This is the craziest thing. Like, I was an atheist. I have been a nihilist, whatever it's called in English, all my life. And then one day I was looking at some tiny like videos, like the basic ones. I suddenly got this like instant download in a way, and it just was crazy. Like, I've never experienced anything like it. I don't know how to even describe it to you, actually. It was like, for a moment, like I had my whole life kind of flash in front of my eyes, and everything kind of made sense. And I had this like feeling of like, oh, like it was like a click, like a huge eureka moment in a way. And then it was followed by like peace. It's not even like a happy feeling, it's not a bad feeling, it was just nothing, but not nothing as in like depressed, it's not numb. It's more like just bliss, just peace. And I felt like I was everyone was me, and that changed me so much. And another weird thing that was happening is that over here it was actually like tingling, and I was feeling like some tingling sensation in my forehead. I think maybe that was my frontal lobe working or something. Um, so yeah, this is, and I stayed in that state for like 3 days, Earth time, 3 days, and then it kind of faded because I started to manifest from it, and I was manifesting like legit instantly, like instantly. But then I kind of got caught back into the things that I was manifesting, and I fell down, and then I walked the normal path, which is like I wanted to learn more. I didn't know anything about Neville still up to this point. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what was happening to me. I tried to Google it. I couldn't find any medical explanation, especially for the forehead sensations that wouldn't go away. Um, and then I learned about Neville, and then I learned about that there is something called the God state, and this is kind of how it feels like. And then I got caught into the very bad trap of wanting to learn more and more and more, because it actually made it harder and harder and harder. But yeah, I had my own share of reaching rock bottom. I was on some famous groups on Facebook as the people that were like kind of trying to manifest. I did the silly challenges, and then I just was like, girl, what the fuck? Like, go back to that first moment of realization of like how it all went. And that kind of took me back to myself in a way. So yeah, this was my experience. I know it may not be the best, but this is how it happened for me. So does this answer your question? I hope it does.
Yeah, it's all good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else is raising their hands, or can I go back to the chats? Okay. So where is the queue? Can you go ahead, Pita? I don't know how to read it properly.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hello. So my question is, what is your experience? Because I think I saw in one of your posts that you are bipolar, if I'm right.
Yes.
And I'm dealing now with anxiety and some panic attacks. What is your view and connection to the law? And do we have to have therapists to help us with the limiting beliefs, or no? Thank you.
Okay, so do we need to have therapy or no? This is entirely up to you. Like, seriously, I cannot tell you, I cannot tell anybody because it's a very personal experience. I was having therapy at some point. I was on medication for over a year for bipolar. So it really it depends on the person, on how you react to the doctors and so on and so forth. I have to say though that when I found the law, I wasn't on meds. I had them off for quite some time, and when I stopped having the symptoms, I also wasn't on medications. um, but so my experience, or at least my advice, is the first thing and the most important thing is to realize that your brain is also an organ of your body, like your hands, like everything. We kind of put the brain on a pedestal a little bit because it kind of controls our moods and everything. And especially when you have some sort of mental issues, it becomes even harder because you feel like it's not really your decision, right? Like there were days when I sleep at night and I don't know if next day I'm gonna wake up okay or depressed or completely crazy happy, you know? So you feel that you don't have control over it. And what really, really helped was realizing that you actually do have control, that your brain is underneath you, not above you. It is your brain, you're not its human. That was my affirmation. I had it on my fridge. It's my brain, I'm not its human. And yeah, and then what I used to do the most that actually helped me was meditation. Like whenever I would have those super, super terrible panic attacks, because I also had the general panic disorder. I would have panic attacks in the worst places. But yeah, so what I would do is I would meditate a lot. I learned to calm myself, and there was something about the idea that nothing can harm me, that even if I die in a way, it's okay, because I had this extreme fear of, dying and all that. And I think people with anxiety or panic attacks, we have that because you feel like, oh my god, I'm dying at this moment. Anyway, so it's kind of hard to talk about it still, you know? So, just realizing that nothing can harm me, just realizing that what is the worst that can happen? Like, nothing can really, really, really harm me, you know? And that helped me a lot. Even when I would have some anxiety attacks or some panic attacks, I would just do the breath work and just remind myself, nothing can harm me, nothing can harm me, I'm above it all, I'm above it all, this is my reality, I am awareness, I'm just consciousness, I'm just awareness in this body, this is my body, like this kind of detachment from the body. It really, really, really helped me a lot. I'm not gonna say it happened overnight, it took some time, but I remember throughout, it took a few months actually for things to stop entirely. But I remember through it, for example, the bipolar ups and downs were like getting smaller. So, like, they wouldn't last that much, and the normal phases would last longer. And then I realized it was over when one day I was experiencing the depression physical syndromes. Because, when people are depressed, their brain works less. So you feel tired, you feel slow. So I was feeling that, but I wasn't depressed. Like my mood wasn't. I was looking at the sky that had this like orangish hues, which for people with bipolar, or at least for me, it's like it kills me. And I was looking at it and I was like, okay, fine. And I was still repeating in my mind that I was a god, I was a creator, I was this, I was that, all the while feeling the physical depression. And that was the moment where I knew, oh my god, it's over. Like, oh my god, I'm no longer bound by it. And it was the most freeing thing ever. Like, I cannot even begin to tell you how freeing it is. I'm actually tearing up as I'm saying this. So yeah, it can happen. If you want your journey to be assisted by doctors or by therapists, that is up to you. But I just want you to know that it's possible, and all you have to do is to like constantly remind yourself that you are above your brain. And I know it's very hard. Like, listen, I really know it's hard, because that fucker, sometimes you cannot even control it. Like, if it doesn't want to work, you cannot go there and make it work. But it's not about that. It's about allowing it not to work and still being okay, you know? So yeah, I hope this answered your question. And sorry if I got a little bit, because it's a very touching subject for me. Okay, can I read the chat now? Because the chat guys have been waiting. Okay. All right, Sailor. Thank you for your help. You're welcome. Once and for all, SP, do we do it in steps or go all the way to like our goal of marriage? And what to do while they come in and out? Okay, this is very good. Actually, I'm posting a video today on that. Okay, so do it in steps or full is entirely up to you, and it really depends on how much you can believe it. So if you can actually believe that you can be married and you know that it's gonna be an easy process for you, then go ahead, go for the end. I personally would go for the end, but there are people who like to manifest in steps because either they cannot believe the whole idea yet, or because they are not sure if they want to marry that person. They just want them back, they just want a text, they just want an apology. So you can do that as well. What matters really is to commit to it. And this is what brings me to the second point. Once they come in, you have to let them to stay in and not go out and then have this like back and forth. And by this happens a lot when people oh hi this happens a lot when people so when you're manifesting a person, let's say you're pretending he's your husband, right? And then he's not your husband yet, but he texts you after no contact, and then you're like, oh my god, I received the text. So then you stop thinking that of that end, you stop projecting your awareness into the reality where you are married, and you start having your awareness in the reality where he just texted you after 6 months or whatever of no contact, and you start having those feelings of, oh, but he didn't text me for such a long time, and he left me, and this and that. And that brings you back to that reality, and this is when he goes away, and then you have to manifest him again. So whatever it is that you want, stick to it. And this is why I prefer to do the end. So when the bridge of incidents happen, I still have a cap. I still have like a map point that I can go to, you know? Okay. How to nullify guilt when a third party is involved in a specific person's situation? Oh my god, I love this question. Why are you even guilty? It doesn't matter, because you're not wishing harm upon anybody. You're not doing bad for them. The third party can go and have the most amazing person ever that is gonna treat them a gazillion times better than your SP was treating them. Like, they may even become, you may even manifest the reality where the third party is the one that doesn't want your specific person. They just realize that, yeah, there's no chemistry at the end of the day, or like, yeah, he's cool, but you know, he's not the right person for me, and that's it. It doesn't have to be like, oh, he has been robbed from me. This is not like This is not what we're doing. We're basically switching from reality to reality where outcomes are already there. Like, there is an outcome where the third party hates the guts of your specific person. There is a reality where they never met. There is a reality where the third party is no longer interested. There are different realities. You are not creating anything, you are not taking anything from anyone. There is abundance of you, of your specific person, of the third party, because there are so many outcomes, so many realities out there. Abundance. So you're not taking anything from anyone. Okay? Keep that in mind, because otherwise you're gonna struggle. Lee just saying, hey, love you and thanks for doing this. I love you so much. Thank you. Okay, yes, it shows us learning Neville, so doesn't mean we can keep it. If we cannot keep it, feel free to DM me and I will take that away. You mentioned a Reddit. You mentioned on Reddit that you manifested a contract for or a deal. Yes, for your company with a 3-day method. Yes. Can you go in detail about that? Well, I can go in detail without really going on super specific detail. So basically, what I did was I spent 3 days. So because here's the thing: if that deal were to happen, I would have so much work to do. I would have so many things to prepare. I would have so many people to contact, so many lists to make, like lots and lots of things, because it was a huge thing that would add more funds and would give us like more opportunities. So what I did is I was like, okay, you know what? Let's say it happened, right? Okay, fine. It's happening. What are you gonna do now? How are you thinking? You have so much things to do, right? And so I started to actually do those things. I started for 3 days to put myself in the position where I already had the funds that I needed and like the everything that goes with it. And I started to Google some people. I started to like draft emails. I started to make Excel sheets. I started to pretty much put myself in the place where I already had that and I'm moving forward after getting it. And I did it for about 3 days. On the 4th day there was a little bit of a bridge of incident. It didn't come like directly. It came through somebody calling somebody and then it happening. But it ended up happening anyway. So yeah, I hope this answers it. Annie, hello. I'm currently manifesting SP. I know that we both like each other, but I have a lot of limiting beliefs when it comes to moving things forward. Like, I sometimes fear that he won't make a move, or there will be an obstacle, or even if we both like each other, we won't be together. How can I move past it? I feel this way I would ruin a good thing for myself because, like, I'm just thinking negatively. I guess it's due to some past experience, but yeah. And I want to make it work this time. Okay, so the first thing that I want you to know, you and everybody, is your brain is only able to think in patterns and it's only able to think based on what it already knows. So if you are thinking from past experiences, that's okay. Just look beyond it, look beyond it. Like, look from the bigger picture and be like, oh, it's not because that happened, like I have been cheated on, that I have to be always cheated on. My brain is thinking that because my brain doesn't know anything different and it cannot think of something that it doesn't know yet. But I, as a supreme whatever, I know better. Okay? So this is the first thing. The second is, why are you getting in your head so much? Like, he will make a move, there will be obstacles, even if we like each other, we won't be together. So the way to move past it is to literally find out, why are you thinking like that? Like, where is this coming from? Is this coming from an idea or a belief, or maybe some past experiences where things never go your way, you never get what you want, you're never chosen? It will have to do with like some deeply rooted beliefs. And what I would do is I would go and I would change them, and I would also debunk my limiting beliefs. I love to do that, and then I make them sound stupid. I don't know if anybody knows, for sure you guys know Harry Potter, right? And there is this scene where there are those like scary things in the closet, and the task is to make them look stupid. So this is what I do for my limiting beliefs. I make them sound stupid and silly and like what doesn't make sense. And voila. So I hope this answers it. Tips from detaching from 3D. I know everyone says let go and let God, but probably not the best to quit your job and do metaphysics 24/7. No. Or what was your journey when you did have a job, etc., lived a normal life? Okay, actually, detaching from the 3D has nothing to do with quitting your job. We do not detach physically. You cannot detach physically because your body is here. You're still like touching things and you are in the 3D whether you want it or not, but you detach mentally. So, and when you learn how to detach mentally, oh, you really unlock such a power within yourself. And I'm not even joking. And this has nothing to do with a law. Like, even for productivity, even for you get into this like zone of like almost superhuman power in a way. But anyway, if you don't like your job or whatever it is, you still do it. But as you are doing it, you are not reacting. And that's it. Because the key to this entire reality is like, where are you focused on? Where is your awareness going towards? So if I am being aware that I am in this job that I don't like, and I keep that awareness, then what am I voting for? What am I creating? I'm creating a reality where I have a job that I don't like. If, however, I am still having the job that I don't like, but I am no longer super aware of it, and my mind is like somewhere else. My mind is aware of me being a business owner, then I will become a business owner. Something will happen and I will actually become a business owner. And this is something that I personally did. It came through a horrible bridge of incidents. They had to fire me in the worst possible way. Like, my laptop broke and I had the job in the old laptop done, but the new laptop didn't have it, and they had some issues, and my managers were both on month-long vacation, and this new woman was like, okay, you know what, I will have to let HR know that we're letting you go. And I was like, what the fuck, this is impossible. And then I realized, oh shit, yes, it makes sense. And I'm so grateful I actually was let go from that job. Anyway, so what I was doing there, I was doing that job that was very tiring. And in my mind, I was running my business. Every day I go home and I'm like, oh, I'm this like person that has this and has that, and I was just pretending in my head, you know. Sometimes I was, when I was starting the business, I didn't even have like enough money. I struggled a lot, and as I was struggling in my mind, I was not like, my body physically was struggling, but my mind wasn't. And this is detachment. It is not doing things, it is not taking actions, it is just not reacting to whatever you don't want to react to. Okay, I hope this answers your question as well. Could you elaborate on your meditation practice? What kind? Guided, non-guided? Any helpful links? Oh, my personal meditation practice. No, I don't do guided meditations. I do my own meditation. So yeah, I have some links that have been sent to me by like some clients, and they say they worked for them. I think there is one by Manifest with Jasmine. It's like the God State something. There is one by, it's like those sleep tapes by Dylan James or something. I will have to look for them, and I can send them to you later. You can like DM me on Reddit, and I will send them to you. But for myself, I do my own meditation. I just, because my mind is like, it's too crazy to listen to a guided meditation, so I have to like shut it my own way. Yes, you raised your hand. Do you want to speak, or do you want to write something? Hi. I don't know if I'm still on. I have no idea. Okay, I will keep answering, and I hope that I'm still on and we didn't break the call or something. So what I do personally for myself. Yes, okay, we're still here. Uh, Perfect, thank you, Andy. So, what I do for myself is I try to calm my mind down first. I take breathing, those like breathing exercises, then I count down if I need to. If I don't, then I skip that part. Then I do some like awareness play where like I become aware of certain parts of my body, and then I realize how like the rest is no longer existing. And apparently I did it intuitively, but somebody once told me that it's an actual practice, so I will have to pull that comment and tell you the name of the practice. And then I would just like tell myself whatever I need at that time, and I've been able to achieve amazing results with that, so you don't always need a guided meditation. Okay. Also grateful if you could explain like following you the following you wrote. It's very interesting. Life is a game. We are here to have fun, to create, to experience everything. We used to be a bored stoic power, and we created everything we could think of, and then decided to get inside our creation and experience them. It's not that serious. Nothing can harm you, so just have fun and enjoy everything. Yeah, did I write that? Was it a comment on Reddit? I forget the things that I write because I write so many things. But yes, basically, life is a game. We are here to have fun. We are here to create and to experience everything. So the way it is, at least in that theory, is God, or like the consciousness, or however you want to call it, created everything that can ever be created. That's why creation is finished. That's why we say we're creators, but we're not really creating. We're just switching from outcomes. And then after creating everything, that consciousness was like, at least this is how I view it, of course, was like, how about I get into whatever I created and I experience it? It's kind of like if you, the way I see it is like if you ever played The Sims, this game of like human simulation, then imagine if you created the Sims game and then you decided to enter inside one of your Sims so that you can experience this awesome house that you created, you know, that you have built and spent so much time building and crafting, and you just want to be inside of it. So you project yourself into one of your Sims. It's still a game, and the Sim is not aware that he is powerful or whatever, and you put a game that it has to be like, will I remember who am I? Because that's the point, which is for expansion, kind of like what I said in my last post. And that's it. And that's why it's actually not that serious, and everything is part of the game. And if you really start to look at life like a game, you have no idea how much how easy life will become. Like everything, even the circumstances, even the bad things, everything will start being fun and enjoyable, and you'll be like, okay, so apparently my higher self wants to play this challenge. Okay, let's do it. You know, it's very, very uplifting and it's very fun. And I don't understand why. I mean, I do understand, but I don't understand why somebody wants to keep it that way, though. Like, why do people want manifestation or want this journey to be so painful? It shouldn't be painful, really, guys. It should be fun. It's like the core is you being God, is you being the creator. If you are the creator, why would you want to create yourself to be the creator that is struggling? I hope I'm making sense. Like, why can't you decide, I am the creator that doesn't struggle, I am the creator that's having fun, I am the creator that gets anything they want, if you are the creator regardless? So I don't know. This is how I view it. And sometimes I also view it like I am hosting a god inside of me. So how would I treat this host? How would I treat this guest inside of me? If I knew that I was a god and this godly thing is inside of me, why would I have the god suffer? Why would I have the god struggle? It should have like a godly life. It should have everything it wants, like the El Dorado people in the movie. You know, I mean, it's kind of questionable, but anyway. I hope I'm making sense. Okay, so I hope I answered your question. If not, please let me know. Sophia, you're so pretty. Oh my god, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, you make me blush. Guys, I'm super shy in reality. You have no idea the hardship I'm actually going through showing my face and like the people pushing me to do it. But I really wanted to do it because I truly, truly love you guys so much. And you have no idea how much the Reddit community has helped me as well. Like, everybody's thanking me for helping them, but you guys have also helped me by just being there, because I'm usually not the person that will stick to something. Like, I tend to change things very, very fast. And if it wasn't for Reddit, I don't think I would have stayed in the law, and I wouldn't have given it like a real shot. Because I look at my first posts and myself now, and I see that I have grown myself too, because I learned so much in the process. And I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't you guys, because every time something happens, or like I feel like throwing the towel, because I do sometimes, I do feel frustrated, I do feel like, oh, whatever, I'm okay, I know about the law, but do I really have to keep practicing it? Do I really have to learn more? And then I'm like, no, but you know, you're giving advice to people, you have to try this, you have to do this, so that when you help people, you're giving them real stuff. And yeah, so you guys were actually my motivation as well, so I thank you too, you know? And that's why I wanted to do this, because I wanted to, like, first, for you to see the face behind the little mermaid there, and to do something nice with you. Okay, let's see. I'm manifesting a job, but I don't have all the required skills and experience, and have recently been rejected from a new opportunity without getting shortlisted. What should I do? Nothing, in a sense. What you should do is, in your mind, you have the job that you want. You still do the actions that you have to do in 3D. So if you feel like you have to apply for jobs or whatever, you do it. But you're not doing it from a position of being desperate. You're doing it from a position of, I already have the job. So you basically do it just to fulfill that need we have to actually take actions, and then you just forget about it, and in your mind you have the job you want, or at least you have a job that has the benefits or whatever it is that you want from a job. You have that, and in your mind you have that, and in the morning you wake up early because you're going to work, and at night you're telling yourself how exhausted you are from work, and how you don't like that coworker, and how the coffee machine is broken, and you know, all the office bullshit. And that's it. And you truly, truly stay there. And hopefully, in no time, you will get a job. Either one of your applications will be accepted, or people can call you that you have never like sent them anything, and they're like, oh, we're calling for this position. You're like, but I never applied. And you're like, no, we're calling you for it. It actually happened to me once. I manifested a job without actually knowing the law, but this is how it happened. And that's the job I was fired from. I stayed there for like 5 years. It was a great opportunity. But yeah, they basically called me, and I have never even sent them. I didn't know they existed, so I have no idea how they called me, how they found me, how they're like, we're interested in your profile. Cool. So yeah, it happens. Before I move on to this one, if you guys don't mind, because it's getting dark, I will turn on some lights and turn on the AC, and I'll be back just one tiny little second, okay? The tiniest, smallest little second. And I'm still here, so please ask your questions if you want. Okay. Awesome. And I am back. Okie dokie. So, let's see. My SP showed a pattern of liking attention from others and not being able to set clear boundaries with others. he did this over and over and over again. This is not something I assumed to begin with. How can I change this? It's been hard for me not to assume otherwise now because he's just done it so many times. Well, I need to understand first what it means. My SP showed patterns of liking attention from others, not being able to cycle. So he likes when people approach him, but then he says he needs to set boundaries. Okay, well, it doesn't really matter because it's still a circumstance in a way, and it doesn't alter the things that you have to do. So what you have to do is you can revise it. You can, in your mind, remember all those times that pissed you off in a way, and you can clearly create like a false memory of your specific person being like, hey, back off, I have a girlfriend, like, thank you for your interest, but I'm taken, you know? And then in your mind, again, you stop complaining about it, and you start to seeing him as somebody that sets boundary, as somebody that does not want attention from anyone else. And this can also be maybe if you have some struggles with the idea of being compared to others, or like being in competition with others, or anything that leads to some sort of cheating, or the guy looking even with his eyes somewhere and you don't like it, you know, like all that category of things. So it can also be from that. So although I recommend you do revision and you revise your specific person in your mind, you should also remember that everything, you are the source basically. So although you may not have decided or consciously been aware about this trait in your specific person, it can be something that's like lurking deep within yourself, and it's projecting itself through this. So I would look into that if I was you. Can you share your meditation practice there? Then I think I did. Did I not? So as I said, I take deep breaths, like hold, breathe out is basically the deep breaths that we do when we have panic attacks. So you can check them on some apps called Calm or stuff like that. I don't even know what it's called. I think it's called bottle breathing or something. Well, anyway, I do that like 5 times until I feel my body is relaxed. Then if I need to, I count down from like 100, 300, however the day is, because my brain never shuts. I have a crazy brain. I know I shouldn't affirm that. And then I would play with my awareness a little bit, so I become aware of like my toe, only that, and I notice like how I can feel everything, and then I notice how all my body disappears, and then I move to another spot, and so on and so forth, until I reach this place again, that tingling one that was in the beginning, and I kind of make it tingle again, and then I just get into the void. And it's very weird because once I reach that space, I actually do get into the void, and then most of the time I just hang out there. I don't do anything. I just stay there because it feels good. Other times I like go places, not astral projection, but like just in my mind go to places, or then I do my sats or like my looping the scene or anything. And voila, I can also affirm, I can do anything. It's like your sandbox, you know. Once you reach that point, it's like a sandbox world where you can do anything you want and exit whenever you want. So hey, do we really need to focus on changing beliefs or on being the person we want to be? Are we focusing on equality? Can you talk a little more about expansion? Yes, I love this. This is a very smart question coming from Jasmine, of course. Everyone is smart, by the way. Don't take it any other way. Okay, so we need to focus on. Actually, there is one thing that we need to focus on if we want to like bring it down to just one thing. Then the only thing we actually need to focus on is us breaking the illusion of being limited. So even when we start with, oh, I can have my specific person back, what does it entail? That, oh, I am not limited by what's happening, or like, people can follow my will. It's this idea at the end of the day. It is the idea of us being in a position of power, of us not being the bodies that we thought we were, at least not just that, of us being the creators or like the source. I don't like to say creator because creation is finished, but it's us being the source, it's us being connected. It's literally the core basics of the law. And these get thrown in the background, yet I swear to God, these are the keys. So if there is anything to focus on, that would be it. So that is the quality that you are walking towards by doing those little progresses, or like the little steps that you take. Like you change a belief that, let's say, you are limited by the way you look, or you are limited by your experiences. It's always something like that. So expansion is literally us going towards the idea that we are limitless, that we are powerful, and that we are not bound by anything, and that nothing can harm us, nothing is external to us, that we are this consciousness or awareness, or however you name it, and that we are just here to be gods, basically. So if we were to focus, like if I had some sort of a limitation where I could only focus on one thing to get my desires, this is what I would focus on, actually. So yeah, I hope this makes sense. Thank you. Do you believe we can manifest anything within the 3 days of if we really saturate our minds and ignore opposite thoughts? Yes, I do. I really do. I strongly do. And I have done this times and times again to know that I do. And that we do, and that we can. And I've seen it happen, and I just know. Like, I just know. Sometimes it doesn't happen exactly after 3 days. However, what happens is a shift in you. And that shift is what leads it to happen at the end of the day. So there are people, for example, who have manifested through the 3-day technique, but they got it in like 6 days. But their experience is like after 3 days, they felt the shift. They entered into Sabbath, and then 3 days into Sabbath, their manifestation came. So that is possible. It is also possible if the manifestation is something you seem as big, or you have put some limitations or some rules on it. It is possible that after 3 days you're not gonna get the full story, but you are having a full manifestation, but you are gonna get the bridge of incidents, but you will know it is leading you there, you know. And if the bridge of incidents happen and you know it is a bridge of incidents, it makes it super fast, because it's just there to like take you from point A to point B. So yes, we can manifest in 3 days, 100%. And I know that, and I live by that. And think about it, by the way. Imagine it's only 3 days. So imagine in a year there are 364 or 5 days. Imagine the amount of things you can manifest in a year if only you were to get out of your limited mind. Like, holy shit, seriously. So, just saying. Yes, that's it. I just saw it. It is Yoga Nidra. Yes, thank you so much. Was it you who told me, or is it something known? I don't know, but that's it. And I was doing it just like that, and apparently it's a thing. So thank you for educating me. Okay, yeah, that was the clarification. What is your take on time? How long can it take for me to manifest an SP? Well, my take on time is that time is an illusion. It's just based on things moving from point A to point B. So it doesn't really matter the time. Also, the reason why time doesn't matter is because we are going to different realities all the time. And all those realities exist. So if I decide to go to a reality where I am already married, I can actually go to a reality where I'm already married. I will have to believe it really strongly, but in theory it can happen. So how long it takes for you to manifest your specific person depends on how long it takes for you to let go of the idea that you do not have your specific person, that your specific person is away, that they are not gonna come back, that they are stubborn, that they are this, that they are that, all the reasons why you believe your own situation is like immune from everything, and so on and so forth. The time it takes you to get that trash out of your mind is the time it will take your specific person to actually come back to you, and it can happen within crazily fast times. I have manifested like contact almost instantly from thinking it, but it faded away because I was going back and forth. But I manifested a steady change in just 2 days, basically, of me living in the end. And you guys all know the story, so no need to repeat it. But yes, it can happen. How do I? Andrea raised her hand. Do you want to talk or do you want to send something? If somebody wants to say something, you can just unmute yourself and talk, because I don't have the option to unmute you anyway.
I want to talk, please. Thank
Sure.
you. So my question is, it's kind of like a long one, but basically to give some background, this is embarrassing because I remember asking you the same question like 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I'm still in the same spot. But so basically for actually like 2.5 years, I've been kind of very unmotivated in life, and just, I mean, I know what I want to do. I want to move to New York City to study acting, like I was doing before the pandemic began. But I want to do it differently because I was in college, and it was at a college that I just don't see working for me anymore. Like it wasn't a good fit for me. So I just want to go back, but I want to do it my way, like live in a luxury apartment that's rent controlled, so paying very little. And I want to and I want that to happen now. And I, not only that, but like I want to manifest a lot of money. Like I want to win money, like I want to win millions of dollars. And that's what like worries me, because and also I want to get a nose job like soon, like before the year ends, or not even before the year ends, but like before it's Christmas time, because I just want to be healed, or like get over the period where I'm like in bed and have to be in bed all day recuperating. And so like if I could choose right now, I guess I would go get the surgery. Like I would be on the surgery table in the operation room in like the 1st of October of this year. And it so yeah, like it kind of has to do with time crunch and everything. And it's like winning that amount of money and doing everything I want to do before Christmas, how can I believe that it's already done when it feels so impossible? And I feel like sometimes I really do try to ignore the 3D or like be indifferent to it, but it just, other times it just feels like I'm lying to myself. Or like, for example, I haven't been working, and I feel guilty because I feel like maybe I should get a job, and I really don't want to. I feel like I deserve to, like everyone else is in this group, and you, and everyone in the subreddit, and everyone who believes in this, or even if you don't believe in this, we deserve to have everything we want. And I don't want a job, and it feels so embarrassing to say, and I'd hope that no one's judging me, but I just want to, I don't want to work for it, like I want to just have the money, move to New York before this year ends, get the nose job and everything. And it feels impossible to manifest so much money in so little time. And sorry, it was so long, but thank you for listening.
Okay, so as you're speaking, I'm actually thinking, and the reason why it is not happening is because of how impossible it feels to you. And you have to, I know it's weird, I know it's kind of counterproductive, like it feels impossible, but you have to stop making it feel impossible, but like it feels impossible. But this is literally it. You have to get into the idea that what you want is possible, and what you want is actually possible, and I know that it is possible, and some of it happened to me, and I just know that it is possible. But another thing, though, you speak about the surgery that you want, and this is where, if it was me, I would do the dig your ditches part. I know it's not very Neville, it's more like Florence, but I love the dig your ditches part. Like, the if you want something, start preparing as if it's actually done already, and you have no idea how fast it makes things happen, especially when we're manifesting on a time crunch, and especially when I've seen it work more with money, or maybe because I used it more with money. But like, I have crazy stories from doing the dig your ditches thingy. And so if you want you to have a nose job, okay, let's say you got the money to have the nose job. What would you do? You would go look for a doctor. You would compare doctors. You would maybe go and book yourself a first appointment to check the nose and what it's gonna do and what's like possible and realistic and all that. Do that already. Book an appointment. Do it. Go there. Get yourself out of bed and actually start to act as if you already had what you wanted, or you were already being ready to get what you wanted. And you have no idea how, you don't know how, you don't know where from, but the money will come and you will actually do it. It's just like that. I had my mom get a car when she couldn't afford it by doing that, and it happened in the craziest things. I used to do this when I was like flat broke. I would book appointments for things that I couldn't afford, but in my mind, I'm like, I'm getting there. I don't know. By the time the appointment happens, I'm gonna get the money. And I kid you not, each and every time, by the day of the appointment, I would have the money. And if I didn't have it yet, I would still go. And then I would either find it, I would bump into somebody that I owed money like ages ago and I don't even remember, and then just wanna like pay pass it to me at that point. It just happens. Like, really, it just happens. Sometimes I got things for free, like legit for free. I ordered some items. It happened to me twice, I think. Yes, or 3 times. But I ordered something. I couldn't afford it. And so I set it to payment on delivery. And in my mind, I was like, okay, the money will come for sure. I'm gonna get it. And the money didn't come. And that was one of the times where actually the money didn't fucking come. And so I was like, fuck, okay, whatever. So I asked a friend if I could borrow his card to pay. And as the delivery guy came, I was gonna reach for the card to pay. And the delivery guy is like, it's paid. I'm like, no, it's not. And he shows me his POS and it actually shows paid. And I kid you not, I didn't pay it. I set it on pay on delivery. And I'm like, okay, so it's fine. Everything is okay on your side. He's like, yeah, it's paid for. Okay, cool. And I took it and that's it. Nobody called me next day. No emails, no jail time, nothing. It was paid for. I don't know how, but it just happened. And I got it for free. And it was a little bit of an expensive item. It also happened to me another time where my card was rejected because I was broke at that time. And next day, my door knocks, and it was a pandemic time. My door knocks, I open, and I see the bag of the things that I have ordered, even though my card was declined. For some reason, for them, it showed as a transaction or whatever. And this is a place I order from often, and they never reached out to me either. And they have my number. Because they called me, I called them to order things, and they never mentioned anything, and I just got it for free. So you really have no idea what can happen in the background. Even if you're not getting the money yet and you feel frustrated, apparently things are still happening in the background. So just like put yourself out there. Go there and like put your mind into it. Then you want to move to New York. Stop wanting to move to New York. Start thinking about it. Start checking for visa applications if you need a visa. Call the embassy if so. Start preparing the documents if you need a visa. I don't know, I'm from a third world country, so my mind goes to visa immediately. But or start checking planes. Start looking for the apartments that you want to rent. Start calling the agents. Start asking for virtual tours or whatever, or for them to send you whatever they have on file. Start to put your expectations out there to the agents, to the people, to whatever. Start asking about what neighborhood is better for you. Start putting yourself there. and it will happen. And you don't have to work to get money. You can get paid to exist. Literally, I was getting paid to exist for such a long time, and I know it happens. Yes, I do have a business, but it's literally me working a few hours a week. I am always busy though, because I do so many things, but for my main source of income, not so much. So yeah, it can happen. And I know it will happen as soon as you get yourself out of that. I have to wait for my manifestation in order to start experiencing my manifestation. And this is the biggest limitation ever. You start experiencing it now. At least you start experiencing whatever you can. Be greedy in a way. Like, okay, if I can snatch at least like the feeling of calling a super top broker agency, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give it to myself, and then we'll see. Get into that mindset, and I swear to God it works. I swear. Okay? I promise.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's so funny you say the visa thing, because I live in the United States. I am in Pennsylvania, so I'm close to.
God, I'm sorry.
But the funny thing is that I do have to go to New York anyways, before I even live there, because I'm from Colombia, and I haven't been there in a while, so I have to get my ID and stuff done, like my Colombian documentation in New York, because that's where the embassy is.
Mm-hmm.
So because that's where I want to go for the surgery, for the nose job. So it's crazy how it does make sense what you said. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so start doing it, and you're welcome. And I know that it works, and I will wait for you to tell me that it worked. Because we made a plan, remember? So I want that plan to happen.
Very true. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. How do I get to that God state? I've manifested several things, and I'm confident with the law, but still a bit unsure or not secure knowing I'm God. Maybe it's me coming from strict religious background, but how do you get to that state and live in it fully? Okay. So the first thing when it comes to religion is to learn to, of course, if you want to get serious with the law and religion is coming in your way and you want to remove those limitations. If not, keep them. Your religion is like up to you. But if you want to let go of that, then you have to start learning to dissociate the idea of God from God itself. As somebody that was born Muslim, grew up Muslim, okay, didn't grow up in a strict country or parents, but still, God comes with like a set of ideas. And at the end of the day, you realize that God is just that idea, is just that that being that we fear, the being that is like watching us. So it's a concept, and you really have to see it as that, and you have to kind of remove the labels from it, and then you put that back to yourself, and you realize that even God as a concept, being a concept, only exists within your awareness. Like, if you are not aware of God, then God doesn't exist. This is how mythology happens, because people used to believe in those gods, but then they stopped believing in them, so they're no longer gods. Now they're mythology. They're just myths. And if people don't even remember them, then they never happened to begin with. Think of all the things that happened in humanity, and nobody is here to recall it, or nobody wrote it down, and so now it doesn't exist anymore. And so the same applies for God, and the same applies for everything. So put that in mind, okay? Like, it is a concept that you are aware of, so it is below you, and you are above it. So to build your confidence with the law, another thing you can do is to experiment with it, basically, and to just like experiment with the idea of you being the creator, or you being the source of your reality. You can do it in several ways, like tiny manifestations. You said you've already done that, but if you want to reach this God state, my favorite approach is to really like do this I am not this, I am not that, I am not this, I am not that, which is, it also has a name. I don't know the name, but it also has a name. I can look for it. But it's basically you put yourself in some sort of a meditation and you start to remind yourself, I'm not my body. I am not my mind. I am not my feelings. I'm not my emotions. I am not this. I'm not my name. I'm not. You basically deny everything that you are not. And at the end, you will actually feel just being present. You will just feel that you are, in a way. And this is when you know you have reached it. And then the task would be to learn how to maintain it and how to take it from that meditation into your walking life. And the more you do it, the more you will be able to like sustain it for longer periods of time. So I hope this helped. If not, please let me know. Thanks again for your time. After having mastered the law, if you were to start a challenge for SP now, this very second, then what would be the steps you'd take? In what sequence? Especially when my SP is not around physically. Oh my god, I love this. Okay, so if I were to... Oh, but now I know, right? Also, it's even better. Okay, so the first thing I would do probably is I would go and I would buy myself like some snacks and some skincare products and stuff like that, because I'm gonna have fun. I'm really, really going to have fun. So yeah, I would prepare the setup for 3 days, and I would just spend those 3 days pampering myself, loving myself, having fun with myself. And all the while I would create, again, I would still go for the same approach because I really love that. I would create a random day, maybe not so random, like a day that is more eventful in my life with this specific person, and I would just have fun. But this time, knowing what I know now, I would go like full in, like really. I mean, last time I also went full in, but I went full in from a place of being hurt, and I went full in because it soothed me. It felt good because I didn't want to feel that pain anymore, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna give it to myself to feel okay, to be able to sleep, to be able to eat, to be able to get up. But this time, knowing what I know, I wouldn't do it to soothe myself. I would do it to actually have fun. So I think I would go even crazier. I would dare to imagine things. I would just have fun. But I would do the same thing, basically. But the steps would be, yes, prepare for yourself as well. Don't make it all about the imaginal act. Don't make it all about the specific person. Allow yourself to have fun while doing it. Get yourself your favorite snacks. Get yourself your favorite... anything that is your favorite. I don't know, watch your favorite movie, drink your favorite drink. Like, really treat yourself, love yourself, and do it. And as you are doing it, you can also incorporate those pampering sessions that you're doing to yourself and be like, me as the wife, me as the person that has the desire is actually now experiencing that. And my husband isn't around because I'm in my girl cave and I'm doing this and I'm just having fun and, you know. So I think this is how I would do it. This is cool, actually. Hello, how to persist for any desire. You just persist. I don't know, like, to persist, you have to be quite stubborn, and you just, it's my way or the highway mentality, and it's, I have it and I don't care, and whatever happens, it's mine. And it's not just it's mine, it's also I am the source, I am the higher power. This is my approach, because I know many people would say to persist by reminding yourself that your desire is yours, but I like to remind myself why my desire is mine, so that my mind doesn't talk back to me. And so when I say my desire is mine, because I am the source, because this life is a simulation, because the 3D is fake, because nothing can work unless I decide that it's working, it's much more soothing to me than to say it's mine because I said so, it's mine because I said so. If that is your approach, then of course you can do that. But it's basically an act of constantly reminding yourself and constantly locking your attention or your focus on your target over and over, like non-stop. Somebody raised their hands. You can unmute yourself and talk whenever you want. You don't have to ask me. Because I cannot unmute you.
Okay, just making sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. Um, so going off what you were saying, like just now, so you're saying going full in. So what you mean by that, and you're saying like constantly putting your awareness on it. Are you doing this all day, every day? Or are you like putting it on it, saying I know it's mine, and kind of letting it go?
If you're talking about not the 3 days challenge but persisting, then yes, it's not all day, every day, but it has to be in the back of your head. Like it has to become part of your new identity, or at least if you catch yourself, because in the first day it's not gonna happen. You will still find that you will be thinking from lack. I mean, from lack, as in like realizing that you don't have it yet. And when you have those thoughts, your job is to bring yourself back. So it is an act of keeping it in the back of your head, but also consciously being aware of what you're thinking. And if you catch yourself thinking against it, then you bring yourself back. But it is not about thinking about it like 24/7 or thinking from it 24/7, because this is just persisting. And it's persisting in a way that can be done like on a longer period of time, unlike the challenge, which is just 3 days, but then you actually have to think from it nonstop, or at least as much as you can. So I hope this answers it. If not, feel free to let me know.
No, that was amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, how about manifesting money? I think it's quite hard to get rid of lack feeling. No, it's not. I know it's not. Really, it is not hard. I mean, it is hard to change your mind about anything, but it's not hard to get rid of lack. It is hard to get rid of being used to think in a certain way. That is what is hard. You have to actually, and this applies to everyone, you have to truly look behind what is happening and like take a step backwards each time. So if somebody was manifesting something else, it would be hard for them to let go of whatever that is. So the problem is not the thing itself, it is your mind being used to think in a certain way and being kind of lazy and just wanting to do whatever it has been used to do. So this is the true hardship, not the circumstance. The circumstance is not hard. Okay? So let me just put that out for you guys to know. So when it comes to manifesting money, you will have issues, you will have unpaid rents, you will have unpaid bills, you will have all that. And yes, it is a hard process, it is a hard position to be in, and I've been there many times actually, and I know that it's not the most fun, and I know that, you know, sometimes you feel like, what am I gonna do? But you just do it if you want to do it through the law, of course. You just have to, like, if you're being anxious about something, you soothe yourself, you soothe that anxious thoughts, that anxiety with the law. If you are worried about something, you soothe that worry with the idea that you are having the money, that you have it, that it's gonna come to you. You change your mind about money, you change your mind about how easy it is to make money, or how easy money can come to you or to anybody, how money is abundant, how you can have access to abundance, how everything is abundant. It is literally just an act of changing your mind about something, changing your perspective about something, and letting things happen. If you want to still take 3D actions, you can do take 3D actions. If you want to go borrow money, if you want to go ask a friend for help, you can do that. But as you are doing that, your perspective, your mindset around money and around the idea of you getting something should change. Because at the end of the day, all we're doing is literally taking those teachings and using them in ways to, like, remind us that whatever is happening in our life is not set in stone. So this is the action that is, like, required internally, and then externally you can do whatever you want. If you want to not lift a finger, you cannot lift a finger. If you want to, as I said, borrow or work or whatever, you can do that. But change your mindset. And also change the idea that your circumstances are hard, or like you're struggling to let go of the feeling because it is a hard feeling. It is not that. I swear to God, it is just your brain being lazy and wanting to think in the way that it's used to think. That's it. if I want to do a surgery for physical change versus manifesting it. What is your take on that? Oh, you mean like manifesting physical change, so like your body will change on its own? My take on that is do whatever you are comfortable with and do whatever you believe. So if you have the belief that you can change your body, and you actually can, then do it that way. Start seeing yourself as different. Start seeing the part of your body that you want to see as different. If your mind tells you no, I want a surgery, or it's gonna come through a surgery, then you can do that. Or what I personally would do, actually, I would just imagine that, let's say my nose is different, and I just wouldn't care how it's gonna happen. And then I'll just like let it up to my higher self to take care of it. And what I want is a different nose. So I don't care if I wake up in the morning and it's different, or if I have to go get a surgery. At the end of the day, my nose is different. So this is what I would do, and the other is like you can choose. What should I do when the opposite of what I'm manifesting happens? Is it due to my negative beliefs, or is it a sign from the universe for a different outcome? Oh my god, guys, I hate the universe, please. There is no universe out there. There is no thing to give you a sign. You are giving yourself signs. You are here experiencing everything. Everything is done to you, by you, for you. Please get this one. Please, 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 please. And I'm not being judgmental or anything, but I'm just wanting you to free yourself from the limitations, basically. So yes, it is due to your negative beliefs. It is not a universe telling you that you have to go a different direction. If you want to see it that way, then you are doing this work, not the universe. So if something goes against you, or goes against what you want, it is still a manifestation. So look at what is it in you that is manifesting that. Take your 3D is like, it's an instant feedback loop, literally. Like you look at your 3D to know what your state you're in. Then you change the state, and then you watch it happen in the 3D. It's like a cycle. So if your 3D is giving you something that you don't want, then look at that 3D and be like, okay, what is it showing? Lack of this, problem with that, this is not going as I wanted, something unexpected happened. Okay, you write those down, and then you go like, okay, what are the beliefs that can create that? And then you're like, oh, okay, do I have them? Oh, holy shit, yes, I do. I actually believe that things never go my way. I actually believe that I'm always left. I actually believe that life always comes with an unexpected, horrible outcome. Cool, so now I know. Now I change those, and then your 3D will change. This is how it works. No universe, no nothing. Yes, how do you manifest health issues away? Do you have any experiences? Yes, I do. I had rheumatism. I don't know how to call it. It's like those inflations that happens to your joints. And I actually got it out, even though it's kind of incurable. It doesn't have a cure, but I did. The way I did it is, although it was painful as fuck, I would just pretend that I wasn't feeling it, and I would go run, and I would go exercise, even though my doctor was telling me not to do certain exercises because it hurts my joints. I was like, joints? Excuse me, my joints are healthy. So I was doing everything. Of course, it depends, right? This is my situation. I know that some diseases or like some health issues would not allow you to go as crazy. But this is what I did. I basically ignored it. Even though it was painful, I wouldn't even like react or notice it or like acknowledge it in my mind. And then I kept doing the things that I was not supposed to do, but I would do if I was healthy. And then it just stopped happening. I didn't have a flare up in, I think, over a year now, or even more, over 2 years actually. So yeah. But I don't know how your situation is. But again, it goes through the same process, I guess, which is to at least ignore it and focus on health. Or maybe you can be like grateful that you're healthy. So every day you would like have your little gratitude moment, and one of the things you would be grateful for is your health. Even though it's not there yet, but you would still be grateful that you're fully healthy, that you have absolutely no issues, and you would actually feel the gratitude for it. Oh, how did your SP take you manifesting him? Were you able to be honest about it all? Does he do it with you as well? I assume you want to manifest after getting SP. You need a partner that supports it. Yes, 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 yes. So my specific person knows what I'm doing. He knows I coach people. He hears me talking to people, or like he knows what I'm doing. And he knows I manifested him, but he doesn't believe it. So it's very funny actually. And I have it recorded, but I don't know if he would ever allow me to post it. But it's really funny because he's so adamant that it was his idea. He's like, no way. No. And I keep telling him, yes, but what made you think like that? He's like, I thought like that because I had a realization that I made a mistake. I'm like, yes, but why did you? No, because he's so stubborn into thinking that it was his idea. And this is why it really doesn't matter. Their free will doesn't matter, because honestly, they do it because you shift into a place where it is actually their decision. So he's not lying when he says it was my decision, because in that reality for him, that version of him has always wanted to get back with me. So yes, he says he wants to manifest things. He doesn't really do it, but he still believes that he is, out of all people, immune to being influenced by the law. So yeah, it's quite funny actually. Okay, let's see. So I know the law works. I know I have my major manifestations, and I believe that I am in the Sabbath in regard to this. Currently, I find myself in a bridge of incidents where I am without housing, in a state where I do not live. I was meditating and had my wallet on me, and then got deep into it, and then got out my wallet. Was no longer on my body. Oh my god, it was stolen. Reality shift, because nobody tried to charge it. Without money, I'm not panicked as this is a manifestation of a previous fear and timelines dying, etc. However, the point of my question is, my dad is wealthy and has for a time been the source. I no longer wish for the reality where my physical manifestation come back to him, bailing me out, as it feels like it is limiting me from getting major manifestation and truly embracing myself as connected to the Father and to being God. There have been periods where he would not help, and I was always taken. Okay. Let's see. And I was always taken care of, and then I fell back into reliance on him in the past 2 years, and while things are taken care of, it feels less abundance. In instance, getting my wish semi-fulfilled. In the current situation, I feel as if all of this is coming up to truly let him go as the source, but I wonder if I'm shutting off a way for the Father to take care of my needs. If not, I have no issues being stubborn. I appreciate your patience with this. Okay, I love your story, and I hope you're safe beyond anything, and I hope you're fine, and bravo, and be strong and everything, like seriously. So when it comes to your question, yes, actually you deciding, I mean, you have the right to decide if something will come through your dad or not, but also sometimes things come to us through the path of least resistance. For example, my brother always manifests money through me because he has always been getting money from me. So in his mind, I am the ATM, kind of. But if you really want to, if you want to have money that comes to you from you, then you would work on the feelings or the beliefs that are associated with you being the caregiver of yourself, being the person that is taking care of yourself. And I think this can go down to feelings of pride in yourself. It can go down to feeling accomplished within yourself, feeling like you're responsible. It feels more like that, at least in my opinion. So if I were you, I would work on those beliefs first. And then when it comes to manifesting money, if you just set an intention, or you just decide in your mind that I have X amount, and then X amount comes from your dad, then that is actually the bridge of incident that brought you your manifestation. Usually we should not dictate the how. So I would actually take them as two different stories, or like as two different manifestations. In one being like you wanting X amount of money, or you wanting a place to stay, or you wanting something. And the second one is you wanting to be able to fulfill your own needs. And that is a whole different manifestation, because the feelings are totally different and the process is also different. The process of wanting money, you just imagine having money. You just feel the relief that you are out of a certain situation, and that's it. And then you just wait for it to happen. However, the process of being the person that is taking care of yourself and not someone else, that is a different process. That is more like internal self-work. That is more like, as I said, like you working on feeling responsible, you working on feeling enough, on feeling maybe you need like to prove yourself to yourself, or you have a feeling or a need to prove yourself to your dad or something like that. Like it's deeper. I see it as like a different category. So if I were you, I would treat them as two different things. And of course, you know your priorities, you know your own boundaries, so you do whatever you're comfortable with. But if you just for now like need money, then just like think of having money and just let it unfold. If it comes through your dad, fine. If it maybe it comes from another way, then even better. And at the same time, work on, as I said, you being the source of your own income, you know, and that would be a different work. So I hope this answered your question. If not, please let me know. Hi, thank you so much for this session. You're welcome. Could you please let me know if we manifest a different version of our SP? Will it take more time? Also, how to change the root belief? No, it will not take more time, because everything is a different version of it anyway. So when you're manifesting a different version of when you're manifesting your specific person back, it is already a different version. It is a version that is not with you. Yes, they are still having all the same traits that you don't like, but there is still a difference. They are not with you, they are not with someone else or something. So you are always manifesting a different version of anything, because reality is like legit like frozen images, like on a movie film, you know? So it doesn't matter, and that's why it's not important if you want the same person, if you want them to change one trait, if you want them to change a gazillion traits. It's still you going from picture to picture. It's the same process. It's just your mind that tells you, oh, this one has more. But in reality, it's all the same. So it would not take more time. It would only take more time if you believe it takes more time, or if you have a problem with believing that your specific person can do that much change in so little time. So yeah. How to change root beliefs. You basically first identify them, then you neutralize them. So you can either revise the source that led to them, or you can just like debunk them. There are various ways actually from psychology and stuff. You can check it. I can send you as well. There are ways from like CBT therapy ways. So you can Google them. There are many techniques to change the root beliefs. If not, just do like the Neville way, which is like let the dead bury the dead, whereby you just stick to the new belief until the old one just dies out. That's also doable. It just depends on how much you're willing to like go for it. Okay, somebody raised their hand, so please you can unmute yourself and ask. Hello, I cannot unmute you guys. I don't have that power.
Yeah, thanks, ma'am. Thank you so much for answering. I have a question. I have recently lost my husband, and I have a huge secured home loan to clear. I am worried sick. I'm trying to manifest it away. I'm trying various ways in 3D as well. Like I'm trying to sell a property to clear that. I mean, I'm working on how as well, but I'm not reaching anywhere. I'm not able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you suggest what can I do to
Yes.
be there.
First of all, I want to say I'm really, really sorry for your loss, and I hope you're doing okay. And I'm really, really sorry. Like, all my best wishes and prayers and all my best things go to you. As for like how to manifest yourself out of this debt, if you want to do it through the law again, I would simply, but then like really get into it, and every single night and every single day and every single waking moment that you have, try to saturate your mind as much as you can with the idea and the feeling that you are financially free, that you are not bound by any debts anymore. And I wouldn't even think of not being bound by a debt, but more like being financially free, and feel that weight lift off of your shoulders and feel like, oh God, finally. Oh, thank you, God. You know that feeling? Because this is how you would feel if it actually happened. So try to embrace that feeling. Try to, if there is something that would happen right after you get out of your debt, maybe you would get like a receipt, or I don't know how your situation is. But if there is anything that would tell you that now it is done, then I would do that into a SATS, and I would do it every single night. So every night before you sleep, you imagine yourself maybe holding that paper that says you're debt free, or whatever the thing would be, and loop it over and over and over until you fall asleep. And then during the day, try to again embrace the feeling that it is already done, that you don't have a debt anymore, that you are financially free, you're not bound by anything, and just like try to saturate yourself with it as much as you can, because the more you saturate yourself, the faster things happen. So I hope this answers your question. If not, please let me know. If not, feel free to like later on even you can DM me on Reddit. I would still be there, and I'm down to help you further.
Thanks, ma'am. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I really wish you lots of strength in this.
Thanks, ma'am.
Let me see. Okay, is it true that our desires are promised to us? Yes, it is true that our desires are promised to us. Otherwise, we wouldn't even have them. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the desires. And this is not my idea, of course. This has been said by Neville, by the people before him, by religions, even. Like, it is a spiritual fact that our desires are actually a promise. And all we have to do is already be grateful that we have them, that we have that thing. Because if I didn't desire it, it means it wouldn't be for me. The same way I wouldn't desire something that I don't want, because it's not meant for me anyway. And that's what, and this is also amazing to think of, because look how much life is actually not programmed for us to suffer. Like, we get the desire because it's meant for us. We don't want the things that we're never gonna get, because if we wanted them, then we would suffer because we're never gonna get them, right? But we only get what we are meant to have. It's just, it's so beautiful. I don't know how you guys cannot see the beauty of it. It's really beautiful. So just have fun with it, and like marinate into that idea, because it really is like that. Sometimes I worry that manifesting will drive me crazy, because some mental patients also live in their imagination. Nope. I was asked that question on Reddit yesterday. I don't know if it was you or somebody else, but no, manifestation will not drive you crazy, and delusional people do not manifest, because it is a very different state of being. It is a different vibration, frequency, state, whatever you want to name it. It is just different. When somebody is quote unquote delusional, but like as in lives in an asylum, or I mean, they don't have asylums anymore, but you know, they are actually, it's a coping mechanism. They are escaping from a place that they don't want, and they are going there, but it happens unconsciously, and it happens as a coping mechanism, and it actually happens because they are afraid to even notice the 3D, because things have happened to them, because we don't know their stories, but there are reasons, right? And so it is a very, very, very different situation. There is pretty much not as much awareness as we do have. So it's totally different. What we do is we are aware of being, we are aware of our surroundings, we are aware that our 3D is not as we want it to be, but we are also aware that we have power, and we are going into our imagination knowing that our imagination is going to create. It is not wishful thinking. We are not escaping into it because we cannot deal with the 3D. We are not running away from the 3D and just like being completely, entirely delusional. And this is why I don't like the word delusional so much when it's done in this concept, because it is not really delusion. It is more like an act of rebellion. It is more like an act of stepping into your power and being like, it's mine and I claim it, and I can experience everything internally, and I can give myself things, and so I'm giving myself this until I see it in my 3D. And this is a very, very, very day and night different position to be in than people who have completely lost sense of reality, unfortunately, and they deluded themselves with certain beliefs, which again most of the time happen as a coping mechanism. So they are not even aware of what is happening in a way. So I hope this answers your question, and you are not going to become crazy by manifesting. I promise. If I did not become crazy, you will not become crazy. Let me just mute my phone. Okay. All right. Sometimes I dwell on the past and it makes me cry and feel regret. How can I shift my attention when it gets really hard? Why do you dwell on the past? If it's gonna make you cry and feel regret, why do it to yourself? Why do you want to make yourself suffer? Do you hate yourself so much? Doesn't make sense. But if you do it, and I know it happens, and I know the brain likes to go back to those things and be like, I should have said that, I should have done that. So when it happens, just bring yourself out of it, literally. And it is also like an act of self-love, to be honest, to refuse to dwell on the past and to refuse to dwell on things that you don't want to dwell on, or on things that hurt you. So I would also work on loving yourself and deciding that moving forward, you're only giving yourself the best of the best, even if it's an internal experience, even if it's a feeling, even if it's an emotion. And I'm not saying this to get you into toxic positivity or anything. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to shout, shout. Just don't do it deliberately. Unless you really need to cry to let it go once and for all, fine. But if you just like are stuck and cannot get yourself out of it, that is another story. So I would just, as I said, I would first decide that it is actually an act of self-love, and that because I love myself, I am going to give myself a better outcome. I am going to give myself a better life. I'm going to get myself out of that situation. And because I am here for myself, because I love myself so much, I take care of myself, I am not going to let myself cry. And if I am sad and if I am crying, I would just remind myself, hey, I got you. I'm taking you out of this. We're gonna do this together. Come on. And that's it. You have to really be your best friend in a way. You have to treat yourself like you would treat your child or your best friend or somebody that came to you in need. And not just, if you had your best friend with you crying and you knew you had a power to fix their life or to fix their situation, how would you react? Would you let them cry and be sad? You would be like, no, listen, like, I promise I can fix this for you. Just, so do that to yourself. I hope this answers it again. Awesome. I'm also curious, is it possible to manifest having graduated uni no matter how many courses you have left? How would that even work in applying for jobs and the knowledge required for it? I don't know, actually. You can manifest graduating. I don't understand how courses system work because it's not how I studied, but I would manifest graduating if I want to graduate, no matter how my grades are, if this is what you mean. And maybe then I would just get smarter and I would just pass my exams, or something would happen. Like when I was studying, actually I wasn't manifesting graduation because I was already kind of good at it. So, but if I was now to do it, knowing the law, I would actually just imagine myself having the degree and just not care how it's gonna happen. If it happens as a teacher deciding to give me a grade or to give me a pass, fine. If it happens as me getting inspired action to wake up in the morning and study, and suddenly my brain feels like a sponge and is like absorbing everything, then be it. But what is the desire? The desire is to pass uni, or is the desire not to do work? If the desire is to pass uni, then just in your mind, you graduated, you're throwing the hat and you're having fun, and that's it. And voila. I hope this also gives you some clarity. And can you lose your reality? Thank you. Can you lose your reality if you don't maintain your conviction? What do you mean about lose your reality if you don't maintain your conviction? You mean like lose your manifestation? Like you get something, but then you start thinking that you don't have it, and then you lose it? Yes, then you can, because actually there is no loss, to be honest. You're just manifesting a different outcome again. So, and this happens a lot with people who manifest their specific people and then the person goes away because they are convinced that the person is with them, then the person comes back, and then their old system becomes to happen again, the triggers, the insecurities, this and that, and then they manifest a breakup again. They don't really lose. It looks like a loss, but in reality it's just a manifestation. So you should learn to stop manifesting things that you don't want, and this way you are not going to lose anything. And then you may ask me, oh, but will I have to like forever be on top of my thoughts, and will I have to always be like consciously manifesting? No, it takes time, however, but there will be some time of your life where you will kind of have to be always on top of your thoughts, or at least do some deep internal work, and then your autopilot will become different, and then you can be on your autopilot and you would have a good life. And this is the goal. The goal is to change your beliefs, like the deep ones, so much that you won't have to do work later on, that your autopilot system would be just great. So yeah, again, I hope this answered your question. All right, let's see. Should I revise and think as I've never broken up with my SP, or should I act as if my SP is asking for another chance after the breakup? What do you think is best? What I think is best is what you believe is best, and what you can actually believe the most, and you would have the least amount of resistance towards. So if your mind can actually believe that the breakup never happened, then do the revision. If your mind cannot truly believe the breakup didn't happen because you have the memories, because you have this, because you have that, then be like, okay, the breakup happened, but I'm still changing it, and this is the new outcome. So both ways work. It just depends on what you actually have more beliefs towards and what is easier for you in a way. Been trying to manifest moving to a new country and getting a better job or employment. It's been more than 2 months since I started. I initially was strong and confident. Now I'm slightly getting worried. How do I deal with impatience? Okay, I just had to reread it. How do you deal with impatience? You deal with impatience by telling yourself that you have it and that you are not waiting for it. Again, this is the same, this is the same answer as the one to Andrea earlier. You do not wait for your manifestation to start experiencing things. You start experiencing them now and here and like right this instant. And this way you don't become impatient, because you are at least getting something, internally. Also, another way to like get rid of impatience is to basically remind yourself that time doesn't matter, that you have it already, that there is no need to be impatient, and that it's yours now. Because the more impatient you are, the more time things are going to take, and this is really counterproductive, but this is how it is. Because being impatient, you have to always look at like what's behind it, like always look at the background, if you are impatient, what are you actually operating from? You are operating from a place that is afraid of time, that is afraid of something taking so long. And when you are afraid of something taking so long, what, again, backdrop, what are you stating? What are you affirming? That it is going to take so long. And I am afraid that it's gonna take so long, so I want it to happen now because I cannot live without it. This is basically what impatience is saying. So you have to remove that, and then it happens fast. Because by removing that, you are no longer saying it's gonna take long. You're like, it's gonna happen so fast. Oh my god, I need to get ready already. Like, oh, there are so many things that I need to do for the job. Oh my god, this is like, oh, how am I gonna deal? You remove the idea that it's gonna take time, and then you don't become impatient, and then it happens fast. So again, I hope this answered your question. I think we got through all the questions. So unless everybody has asked their questions, I think we can leave the chat. So if someone has questions, you can ask them now. Yes, you can unmute yourself. I don't have the power to unmute you. Hello, this is for Solar, who raised their hand. Oh, okay. Do you feel like you have to remove limiting beliefs? Yes, you have, or just stick to the end. Okay. So I think I said that already, I don't know. But there are two ways. No, I said it in the private group. There are two ways to actually manifest. The first one is by engineering it, which is like remove the limiting beliefs, identify them first, remove them, like heal yourself, do this, do that. The second way to manifest is let the dead bury the dead. You just stick to the end and you let your old beliefs go away by themselves. The problem is, us people nowadays, we are much more in tune with our thoughts, with our inner drama, with our feelings, unlike people in Neville's time who were much more disciplined because they grew up in different atmosphere and environment and everything, so they are much more strict and harder than we are. And they are also kind of dismissive to their own emotions as well. I saw that a lot in the lectures. But anyway, this is not the topic. So both ways work. This is what I want to say. If you want to do the stick to the end, it still works. However, you will have to stick to the end no matter what. So no matter what your mind tells you, no matter what you see, no matter what happens, no matter anything. And once you have it, you have to keep in your mind that you now have it and it is yours forever. If you want to do the other way, you do the other way so that you have less bumps on the road, but then it's more work. You will have to find the limiting beliefs, you have to revise them, remove them, debunk them, change them with new ones. It's more work, but it makes the road smoother. The other one is less work, but it can be a bumpy ride. It can be. Just can, not 100%. So yeah, I hope this answers it. And it's also, I love that you asked this because there are almost a separation in teachings, as if you either do it this way or the other, or this is right or this is wrong. Both ways work. So I just want to clarify that both ways work, and I have manifested doing both ways. There are things that I had to do the inner work for, and there are things that I just stuck to the end and it happened. So yeah, both work. Is just no one is better than the other, no technique is better than the other. It's a matter of personal preference, and at the end of the day the law is the same. Whatever you assume you are, you're going to get. Okay, so do we have more questions? Thank you, you're welcome. Yes, Fernando, you can ask me.
No, I just wanted to say thank you for everything, for the live, for the posts, even though you didn't have to, you still made all those posts. And yes, that's it, just thank you for everything, really. And you're really changed a lot of people's lives and stuff. So thank you. Also I don't know, this is kind of weird, but like I really like your name, like past calligrapher. I don't know, but I just think it's kind of funny. But yeah, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. You have no idea how much I appreciate this. Like, I love you guys so much. And my Reddit username, it was chosen by Reddit. I did not choose it. But if I were to choose, it would have been something like that because I also do calligraphy. But it was this moment of like username checks out. Reddit chose it for me, just so you know. Oh, Lee has the best success story. Oh my god, I have to get okay, I will check my WhatsApp after the call. I cannot wait for this. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. I also just wanted to say I'm not going to delete my Reddit account, but I will just get out of the app. So I won't be around, but I decided not to delete it because everybody has been sending me an overwhelming amount of love, and you just have no idea how much I love you guys. Like, I really love you. I will always be loyal to the Reddit community. You guys are the best, and please just like please get it and just know that you are part of the tiny percentage that is so lucky to get this like key to life. So use it, please use it. So if you guys have more questions later on, feel free to DM me on my Reddit. I may not answer immediately, and I may not answer for a long time afterwards because I'm getting out. So voila, thank you so much. As you guys know, this is recorded and I will post it on YouTube. So I will hide all the names, and if somebody doesn't want their voice to be like recorded, just let me know. Send me a Reddit now with like your name, and I will like remove that part. So voila, but I have to post it for all the people that could not attend, so they could also benefit from the questions, and maybe it would answer their own questions as well. Okay, so I think that's it. Thank you so much. This is me, Sophia. It was a pleasure talking to you and getting to know you. And I think that's it. Andrea, do you want to say something?
Yes, I'm so sorry. Last thing.
De rien, Hélène.
Thank you so much for helping us.
You're
and
welcome.
oh, and no, and like okay, two little things. First is that I'm happy that you said that you weren't going to delete your profile, because I saw a comment that they told you that like even if you delete it, the post will stay. And I read it and I'm like, oh my gosh, no, it won't, because I had a friend who deleted it and I can't find his post anymore.
Yes.
So
and I want
I'm
the
happy
posts to stay because I love them.
Exactly. So thank you. And no, and last thing is that I would love to know your opinion on, or like your view, your perspective on people who say that winning the lottery is bad luck and it only brings like very bad things, because I feel like that's part of like the limiting belief that stops me for believing that that could, bring me good things, and like that scares me.
No, limiting. This is 100% a limiting belief. Why would lottery bring you bad luck? The thing that happens again is people who win the lottery, they still think from afterwards from their old brains. They are not like in the state of having money and of having loads of it, and so they end up losing the money because they don't know how to manage the money. So it is not bad luck. There is no such thing as bad luck. There is no such thing as some sort of luck that is like being above you or being controlling your life or like taking your money away or taking your winnings away. This is really stupid. Like, don't buy into that, girl. You're better than this. Come on, please. Like, we should all be better than this. Somebody asked for my YouTube username. It's Manifest with Sophia. All my they are all Manifest with Sophia now. So there you go. Somebody else raised their hands. Nipun, please, you can unmute yourself because I don't know how to unmute you.
Yeah. So currently I'm manifesting my dream job, but people like work for it for years, and I'm not like skilled enough to like complete those interviews out because they are so hard. So currently my skills are becoming my limiting belief. So how should I like
No,
work upon it?
I wouldn't care about the skills, to be honest, because if you want a certain job with a certain like pay rate or with certain benefits and you have that set of skills, it doesn't matter in your mind. You, what do you want? You want the job, so in your mind you have the job, and the things will happen. Maybe somebody will offer you a free course that's gonna teach you a skill that will be needed for the job, or maybe they will give you like an interview, they would ask you to do something, you would get this instant smartness and you would do it and they would hire you, or maybe they would be like, oh, we can teach you how to do it, and they will teach you how to do it. Like seriously, I did this actually for myself when I was first working, and this is how I got the job that I wanted, because after I got it, I got a very very small position, and I was always looking at this like Olymp in the office, and this is where like the cool people were sitting, and I wanted to be part of them so badly, and I applied and I got rejected and everything. And then one day their manager reached out to me and she's like, you speak French, right? I'm like, yes. And she's like, we have this position, would you like to join? I'm like, I would love, but they say it's for level 3 and I'm just level 1. I joined like 3 months earlier. She's like, no, it's okay, if you speak French we can teach you everything, because we really need somebody that speaks French. And so I got the job. I got the humongous promotion after 3 months, and they taught me everything I needed to learn because I was still studying, so I didn't have the skill like officially yet. And I did that job for 5 years, and it was a very very good job. I was like a lawyer at a bank basically, so I was kind of like defending the bank, and I didn't have the degree for it yet, but they taught me everything I needed until I got my degree from school. So it can happen. And all I did was literally just imagine myself sitting at that Olymp table where like the gods of the office were sitting. So just imagine that you have the job that you want, just feel it, and it will happen in a way or another. Don't limit yourself to skills, don't limit yourself to the market, don't limit yourself to even your country. Maybe the job will happen somewhere else. Maybe it will be like a remote job. You have no idea how it's gonna happen. You want a job, you want something that will give you that feeling of whatever it is, give it to yourself, and that's it.
So eventually things will get easier. Like it will go.
Could you please repeat? I didn't hear that.
So I was saying that it will naturally like
Yes,
go
yes,
in a
it
way
will come
to
naturally.
fulfill my goal.
Exactly. You don't have to like, you don't have to care or to worry about the limitations, because these are just rules in your head. Like, can you truly say that all the people that are working right now in certain positions actually have the skills for them? Let's be honest, guys. We know it's not the case, so why not you? If they can do it, why can't you? Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh my god, you're so pretty. Oh my god, you are so pretty. Thank you so much. Thank you. Guys, don't say things like that. I'm shy. I cannot take it. But thank you. Since you're not going to be on Reddit, where is the best place to message you? It's a private message, just thanking you, but I can't say it publicly because it's personal. You can send me on. I think I have a TikTok now. I don't know if I have a TikTok and I have a YouTube. So I don't think YouTube has DMs. So TikTok would be the best one, and it's at Manifest with Sop, because Sophia was taken. So this one. And you will see my picture, so you'll know it's me. Okay, so I think everybody has asked their questions. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. This was such a pleasure. These have been like the best 2 hours of my year so far, so thank you so much for joining. I love you all again, and I just wish you all the best, and let's all like raise to a god level and get the lives that we all deserve to have, shall we? Bye. Bonne nuit. Au revoir.